I didn't move out because I wanted freedom. I moved out because staying felt worse. At 29, freshly finished with grad school, I was still sleeping in my childhood bedroom, surrounded by posters I never bothered to take down. My parents never told me to leave, but I felt it anyway. In the pauses before my mom asked where I was going, in the way my dad stopped pretending not to notice my late nights. They helped me buy my first house, money they'd been saving since I was in high school. I hated how grateful and guilty that made me feel at the same time. The house itself was nothing special. One floor, narrow hallway, old cabinets. The kind of place you buy when the economy is broken and dreams are expensive. It sat on a quiet street just outside a mid-sized town, plowed in winter and dead silent after dark. I told myself that silence meant safety. By day, I worked a clean, professional job, something my parents could proudly explain to relatives. What they didn't know, and never would, was how I actually paid my bills. Sex work wasn't dramatic or reckless. It was math. Rent plus loans minus salary equals desperation. I screened clients carefully. Hotels or private apartments. Rules. No names, no attachments. In and out. I kept my world separate. At least I thought I did. Living alone was rough at first. I slept lightly. Every sound snapped me awake. But slowly, the house began to feel like mine. I stocked the fridge, left laundry unfolded, walked barefoot at night. That's when the food started disappearing. Milk emptied too fast. Leftovers vanished. A pizza box felt lighter than it should have been. I blamed myself at first. I eat like a linebacker, I muttered one night. But something felt wrong. Standing in the kitchen with the fridge door open, I whispered, "No way." That's when I remembered the hidden cameras, cheap ones disguised as phone chargers I'd bought years earlier. I plugged one in above the counter and tried to forget about it. Days passed. Then a coworker mentioned her mom's house getting robbed. That night, I sat on my bed scrolling through the footage. Nothing. Nothing. Then, movement. At 2:14 a.m., the upper cabinet opened. A woman climbed out. She looked to be in her 50s. Thin, greasy hair pulled back tight. Her eyes scanned the room like she knew it better than I did. She drank my milk, ate my food, then calmly crawled back inside the cabinet. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I walked outside and called the police. When they pulled her out, she screamed like an animal. "That's my daughter," she yelled. "This is my house." They took her away. I pressed charges. I thought that was the end. I was wrong. The fear stayed. I installed cameras everywhere, slept with lights on. My mom stayed over for a while. Eventually, things settled. Then my work followed me home. One client, older, well-spoken, heavy accent, started pushing boundaries. "I like places that feel lived in," he said once. "Feels real." "No," I replied, flat, final. He smiled like he understood. A week later, I came home and felt it instantly. The air was wrong. My bedroom door was cracked. "Hello?" My voice shook. Nothing. Then I saw it. My nightstand drawer was open. My work phone was inside, exactly where I left it, but turned on. Someone had been there. I checked the cameras. At 1:52 a.m., the front door unlocked. He walked in like he belonged there. He wandered, touched things, sat on my bed. Then he leaned into the camera and whispered, "I knew this was your real life." I threw up. The police came again, no forced entry. I knew what that meant. Someone had copied my key. I didn't sleep. I jumped at every sound. I carried pepper spray through my own house like it was a comfort blanket. Then one night, lying awake, I heard it. Tap, tap, tap. Slow, intentional. From the kitchen. "I'm calling the police," I whispered. The tapping stopped. Then a calm voice answered. "I just want to talk." I screamed. Sirens came fast. They found him hiding behind my fridge. The same man, smiling. As they took him away, he looked at me and said, "You shouldn't mix your worlds." I sold the house 3 months later, moved somewhere loud, busy, bright. I quit sex work, took longer shifts, smaller apartment, more neighbors, noise became comfort. Some nights, when I wake up thirsty, I still hesitate before opening the fridge. Because after the second arrest, the house stopped feeling like shelter. It felt like a trap. I learned that safety isn't about locks or walls. It's about who knows where you exist, and how easily that can be taken. I always thought paranoia was a joke, until the night it saved my life. I live alone in a small studio on the outskirts of Briar Hollow, Oregon. Quiet town, tree-lined streets, dim yellow lights, neighbors who wave but don't talk, the kind of place you feel safe, because you're supposed to. I'd lived there almost 5 years. Nothing bad had ever happened. I work remotely for a logistics company in Seattle. My days blur together. Emails, spreadsheets, coffee reheated 3 times. My cat Juniper, a chunky gray tabby with half a torn ear, and the attitude of someone who survived the streets, curls up on the windowsill, watching birds. Juniper doesn't trust anyone. That matters later. My apartment is on the 2nd floor above a closed real estate office. Metal security door. Narrow staircase that echoes every footstep. Cameras outside. Motion lights. Keypad entry after 10 p.m. Too secure. It was January, dead winter. Cold crawled into your bones and refused to leave. By 5 p.m., the sky was dark. Wind howled through the trees like it was angry about something personal. I finished dinner, fed Juniper, did my usual routine. Lock the door, check it again. One last time. By 1:30 a.m., I crawled into bed, earplugs in, Juniper curled near my feet. I slept almost instantly. Then I woke. The feeling, you know the one, like you're not alone. My eyes snapped open. 2 people were standing next to my bed. A man, a woman. I scrambled backward, heart hammering. Grabbed the nearest thing, a lamp, maybe. "Whoa, hey, the man said, hands raised. "We're not here to hurt you." The woman looked as terrified as I felt. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to scare you." I couldn't breathe. "How did you get in here?" My voice was thin, broken. "I was coming home from work," the woman said. "I live upstairs. I saw your cat on the stairwell." My stomach dropped. Juniper. She'd been sitting there. The door, it was open. "Just a crack," the woman said. We knocked, called out. No answer. Everything inside me froze. Nothing was broken. Nothing missing. Laptop on the desk. Purse untouched. I locked it, I whispered. "We didn't touch anything," she said. I swear I was too scared to come in alone. Went to get my husband. I slid off the bed, legs shaking. The door was closed, unlocked. No forced entry, just open. Police arrived 15 minutes later. 2 officers. Calm, professional, bored. They checked the door, the windows, the balcony. 2 stories up, no ladder, no fire escape. "So, how did they get in?" I asked. The officer shrugged. "Have you ever sleepwalked?" "No," I said immediately. "Never. They left. No report." I didn't sleep. Juniper pressed against my chest, ears flicking at every sound. The next day, I called my landlord, Graham Wilkes. Soft voice, mid-50s, always sounded like he was chewing something. "You should have called maintenance," he said. "I'll have someone check the door." His wife, Lorna, stopped by later. Her reaction shattered me. She laughed. "Oh yeah," she said casually. "That door's got a mind of its own. It sticks sometimes, then pops. Pressure change, I guess." "That's not funny," I said. "Someone could have come in." "Well, it doesn't happen often," she said. Then she told me a story. Years ago, when they lived there temporarily, a neighbor's dog had wandered in. Door closed, locked. Boom. Dog in the living room. Maintenance came. Door seems fine. Locks unchanged. I started sleeping with a chair wedged under the handle. Locked the key in the deadbolt. Checked the door every hour. Juniper never sat by it again. She avoided it completely. Animals know things we don't. I moved out 6 months later. I still don't know what happened. Faulty hardware? Pressure changes? Human error? Something else? All I know, safety is fragile. Once it disappears, you never get it back the same way. I remember exactly how that summer started because it felt like my first real step into adulthood. I was 21, halfway through college, broke in the very specific way only a student can be, too proud to ask for help, too optimistic to think anything bad would happen, desperate enough to take an internship nobody else wanted. The company was Hollow Ridge Utilities, field office miles outside a dying Midwestern town called Briar Hollow. Blink and you'd miss it. A few rusted signs, an old grain elevator, one gas station that closed before midnight, and then nothing but empty roads slicing through trees and farmland. I rented a tiny one-bedroom apartment above a closed hardware store. Smelled like old paint and dust. Floor creaked like it was complaining. Cheap. That was all that mattered. The internship hours were brutal. Late nights, sometimes until 2 or 3 a.m. At first, it felt kind of cool, like being part of a secret world normal people never saw. That feeling didn't last long. By mid-July, exhaustion had settled into my bones. That night, it had been brutally quiet at work. Just the hum of fluorescent lights, occasional clanks from deeper in the facility. I clocked out. Phone read 3:07 a.m. "Thank God," I muttered, grabbing my keys. The parking lot was empty. My car, an old silver sedan, rattled like it resented me. The drive home took 20 minutes. One long county road, gentle curves. Nothing but trees and fields disappearing into darkness. No streetlights, no houses, just asphalt and shadows. I rolled down the window a crack. Warm summer air, smell of cut grass and damp earth, crickets screaming from the woods. I let my mind wander. Thought about how tired I was. How much longer this internship would last. Texts from my mom. Lena from the dating app. I laughed nervously at the serial killer vibes joke we'd made. 10 minutes in, the first sputter hit. Subtle. A hiccup in the engine. "Don't do this," I whispered. Seconds later, it happened again. Dashboard lights flickered. My stomach tightened. "Come on, just get me home." Then the engine coughed hard. Lost power. Steering stiffened. I pumped the gas pedal. Car slowed, rolling onto the gravel shoulder. One final shudder, then silence. Absolute silence. I checked the gas gauge. Half a tank. Popped the hood. Nothing. Just me, the moon, the trees, and the ticking engine. 30 minutes later, a soft, deliberate clunk behind me. Another sound, the rattle of a door handle being tested. My heart slammed. I yanked out my headphones, twisted around. Empty road. No headlights, no tow truck, just darkness. "Hello?" My voice cracked. Silence. Then movement. At the edge of the woods, about 30 feet from the road, a man knelt at the base of a large tree. Dark green jacket, dirt-smeared jeans, matted hair, thick beard. He dug with his bare hands, clawing at the soil like he was trying to pull something from the earth. I couldn't breathe. Dirt piled up beside him. He stopped occasionally, tilting his head, listening, never spoke, never noticed me. Then headlights appeared in my rearview mirror. Relief crashed through me. A tow truck. As soon as the light hit the woods, the man froze. Slowly, unnaturally. He lowered to all fours and moved deeper into the trees, crawling with a practiced smoothness that made my skin crawl. The tow driver stepped out, cheerful. "Rough night, huh?" "You have no idea," I whispered, gripping the phone like it was a lifeline. I never drove that road at night again. I sold that car a month later. And sometimes, when I think about that summer, I wonder, what was he digging for? Did he ever find it?